Hi, good morning. This is a reflection on lesson 118 of In A Course in Miracles. So it's a review of two more lessons, lesson 105 and 106. Lesson 105 says, God's peace and joy are mine. I have to do it from memory. God's peace and joy are mine. And then lesson 106 is, let me be still and listen to the truth. And what these are saying, the first one is this idea, again, it's a fundamental truth. Strip away everything else. We have to come to just have that fundamental belief system that the peace and joy, whatever God is to you, to me, it's like universal consciousness. It's creation energy. I'm sorry, I have something. And we, like, what else is there than to be perfectly happy with who we are? We were born, in love. So it's like, what is more fundamental than that, than this ever-present consciousness? It's just the fundamental nature of our reality. Why would it exist if not for this thing we call love, which is pure? What is love? What is it? To me, it's creation energy. It's like when you love something so deeply, you want it to grow, right? You don't want it to shrink. So if you think of just the way energy works, it's always moving, always changing. And love energy, if you think of the spectrum of fear on one end, love on the other, it's not love and hate, it's love and fear, right? Love is expanding, fear is contracting. And so the universe, they say, is constantly expanding. If you want to tie it to physics or whatever, the physical material world. So it's like there's still love at play in the universe. It's always expanding, growing, creating, moving. Things that shrink and contract are out of fear, which is the state we're not supposed to dwell in. Sure, it happens, but love is the antidote to that. So we go into this creation mode. So to me, those are fundamental truths. And so when it says, God, what was the lesson name? It's about, let me feel the peace and joy of God, like that creation energy that's love. Fundamentally, it brings a sense of peace. It brings a sense of joy. The opposite of fear is also peace, right? When we have fear, we are not at peace at all. So to me, love is infused within peace and joy. It's like the Trinity, peace, love, joy. It's all like of the same essence, different flavors, I guess, different nuance to them, but they're all that expansive creation energy. And so that's a fundamental, to me, a fundamental law of who we are. And we're just supposed to keep remembering that through these lessons. Remember, believe, remember, trust that that's our nature. And if we can remind ourselves of that each and every day, which sometimes is very hard when we feel like we're contracting, like I go through these phases of expansion and contraction, right? Like I have to keep reminding myself, like the moon is a reminder. We go through phases. It came up like in a reading this past week, and I'm like, yeah, it's a reminder I need to realize. And that the moon is like that, the light grows and it shrinks. The light of the full moon is growing toward the full moon, and then we kind of contract back to the new moon. I mean, it's just like, if you want to even think of it like that, and it's controlling the ebb and the flow of the tides, and like nothing stays the same. And there's a fundamental trust in that we're meant to always change, and we're meant to have all the feelings. And the more we can keep reminding ourselves to come back to the love feeling, to share that, is to expand and then help others expand. And I don't know, that's what I got from that lesson. And I think what was the other one? I already forgot, but I think I combined the two anyway. So there you go. lesson 118. I feel like for me personally, I was in that contraction phase for a little bit, a couple weeks, maybe longer, but it took on a different flavor each time, and that's something I've been reflecting on too. These phases are, because that came up in a reading also, like these things just swirl around, and then I reflect on them even more. Like the phases aren't the same each time. So even when I'm like, oh gosh, here comes another phase of, like, everything's a phase, or there are no phases, it's just constant change. But the phase I'm talking about is like the contraction phase. And then it's like, oh, it's uncomfortable. I'm squishing my giant spirit essence down. It feels like, oh. And what's coming to mind is like when we do contract, like things like vibrate more, right? Like there's more potential, like awaiting to just burst forth. So I have to remind myself of that too. It's like when you get to that darkest spot of the contraction, or the smallest part, where you just feel like, oh, when will it end? Whatever phase you're going through. And then there's always the dawn of the next morning, right? Where you're like, psh, something releases somehow. That's another fundamental law, right? Something gives, the dam breaks, whatever. And then you feel like, oh, this release and relief. And that's just no matter what flavor it takes, or what aspect of life you're talking about, love and relationships, or finances, or soul searching, or whatever. It goes through that expansion, contraction. It feels like the contraction part, it's because we know ourselves intuitively to be this beautiful giant presence, consciousness that is so huge and unboundable, that when we go through those phases, I feel like we're being, oh no, I'm being squished, and it's uncomfortable. Yet when you squish things down, they, like, when you take energy and squish it, there's like, it just vibrates more, like that potential that's on the other side, that's waiting to burst forth and create again in love and peace and joy. And so I feel like some of our phases are really long, and that's hard too. I have clients I think about who are in really long cycles of this, and it's hard to see. When something is so long of a timeline, it's hard to see out of it. It's like, I think of the ocean again, where it's like the ocean's so giant, I don't even know what direction I'm headed or where the shore is. I think I used this analogy yesterday in a different way. And then it's like, but when things are shorter cycles, it's a little easier to see, like, okay, this one, I feel like it's not going to be years long. It might just be weeks long. But do we really know? No. I think it comes to a trust that whatever cycle and however long it's supposed to be, it's like coming into the acceptance of where I am right now within it is where I'm meant to be, and to not resist it. And that's another reminder for myself too. It's just like, let's flow with it. And somehow I think that with that recognition, okay, coming into acceptance as a way of letting that dam burst forth again. We're not resisting it and getting as uncomfortable. And so the cycles change each time, each one isn't going to feel the same, because we're going through different things each time. I might feel like, oh God, I'm in a contracting state. What's happening? I'm weird. But it's different each time. And that is a little form of relief too for me. Like, okay, at least it's different this time, but it's new, and that's uncomfortable. What am I supposed to be learning? Just exist. Okay, I'll try. I don't know where this went, but I guess it's stuff I've been thinking about. So thanks for listening. Good luck with those cycles. Bye.